So you've now got the outline of your pencil drawing in place, and you've done that by doing all your different measurements. So now you want to focus on the tone and the value to give this shape form, to make it look 3D. So I've got a variety of our artist pencils here in different shades. So I've got, for example, a 2B and something slightly darker, a 5B and a 6B, but lots of different shades. So if I start with something like a 2B, so a little bit lighter, I want to try and add some of these shades and tones. So there's different methods you can do this. So on this little section here, I'm going to use a hatching method. So lots and lots of little lines all together to add that shade and tone. And the way to do that is to apply a lot of pressure with your pencil where you want the darker bit to be, and then sort of lift that off your page as you're going along. So I could do that on this little section as well. And then what I might want to do is hold my pencil a little bit further up, so I've got less pressure, and just go along like this. So I'm sort of lifting that off the page as I go along. You could also go back across this to make this into a crosshatch. And then over the little areas that I want really, really dark, I could go in with a darker shade. So this is a 6B. And I'm going to go over the top with that, and I'm actually just going to do a blending technique with that one. So I'm doing little tiny circular motions and then using the pressure of my pencil to create tone. So to make that lighter as it goes up, because I want that to be really, really dark in that central line so that it matches the other side of the drawing. Also in this little section, if you look closely on the drawing, you can see there's lots of little dots. So you could do some pointillism here or some stippling. So that's another technique you could use here. And you could also use that for shade and tone, just to add a little bit of texture into your work as well. Another way that you can focus on one specific section is to get two little pieces of card or of paper, and I'm going to make these into what we call a viewfinder. So I fold them in half together, so you know the squares are going to be the same, and then I'm just going to cut a really small square. So I'm going to cut that off. So now when I open them up, I've got two exactly the same little viewfinders. So now, if I put that over a certain area, I can replicate that area on the other side. You could cut these pieces right down so that you can put them over a certain area, and that will really help you to just focus on one area at a time. So with this area, there's lots of little bits here that I could stipple. When you're stippling, what quite a nice idea though is to just lightly, very, very lightly with your pencil, shade underneath first. And then when you stipple over the top of that, it just gives it a little bit more of a tonal effect and helps build up that texture and 3D effect. So that's another way that you can focus on one area at a time so you're not too overwhelmed with the whole piece.